Welcome back to the show, everybody. You know what it is, and I'm of course the one on triple the G.O.D. That's indeed me. Let me straighten out my collar real quick, because that's important. What's more important? You. Yes, awesome you and you alive right here with us right here on Team GRF TV. And have you ever waited 3 years to do something when it was just right? Just right is right now, because we are about to talk about Capcom Arcade Stadium second, because we need to. Because as you're probably going to learn a whole bunch this week in deals and offering time, is Capcom got sales on everything, everywhere, and this is a way to make up for lost time for a thing I should have covered when it came out, but at least you should know about it now. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to summon our friend King Leo, because we're going to take a look at the website. We're going to talk about all 32 games and what they mean to me, and what you can glean from all of that information to make you a better purchaser of things, because it's going to get nuts out there, kids. So let's get King Leo in the building, man. Let's find out what's really good with Capcom Arcade Stadium 2 right about now. I am in your top right corner. Yeah, I'm going to stay there for a while. If I feel the need to readjust myself later, I shall, but I think I'm okay up here. So, here we are on the website for Capcom Arcade Stadium 2nd, available on all these mystical and magical consoles. And I need to quickly check something. Let me see here. Let me check something. Because I want to make. I'm like, oh, okay, John Madden is in the building. Okay, so cool. John Madden's in the building. I had to make sure John Madden was in the building. He's going to become real important later. Anyway, like I said, all right here, all of these systems. Now, it's on sale on all of these systems. The PS4 is the weird outlier, and we will get to that later today in that installment of deals and offering time. But just know, everywhere else the bundles are on sale. This is especially important for the Steam version, because it is the cheapest way to get all 64 games in both collections. Just hold on to that for later. But as we continue to scroll down at this beautiful art that I love so much, yeah, you can download the package, the shell that makes this game up, and it comes with Sansan. So just be sure to keep that in mind, because if you go watch an old video, you know what I'm saying, that you probably should, and I'll have them linked in the description or whatever, is that was my problem with Capcom Arcade Cabinet, was you had to buy the shell, and I thought it was super dumb. But it was good to see that it's when it came to Capcom Arcade Stadium, the first one, you know what I'm saying, that they learned their lesson about shells and how they should be freed. So it is what it is with that. So here's something that changed in the span of the 4 years that the arcade stadium has existed. In Capcom Arcade Stadium 1, is that you could buy through pack buy them in a pack of three each. Like, it was three packs. Okay, words in anyway, that you could buy them in three packs. They've done away with all that. It's either you could buy the individual games or you buy the bundle, one or the other. They changed that when Capcom Arcade Second Stadium came out. So we're gonna talk about all 30 games, but again, I'm gonna have everything you need in that installment of deals and offering time. So don't worry about that. We're not going to talk about this. We could talk about that update, but something we have to, things of China or something, never mind. Um, y'all want to watch these trailers? Oh wait, we're going to watch these trailers because that was part of the plan. Actually, we are going to watch both of these trailers, the announcement trailer and the launch trailer. So I am going to do a thing, and I'm going to put myself in watch mode. See, we're going to watch both of these trailers. So let's sit back, relax, let's chill out. Let us enjoy everything there is about Capcom Arcade Second Stadium in these trailers, and then we can get to the fun stuff where I tell you about 32 video games you should know and love about. So, with all of that being said, now activating the Capcom Arcade Second Stadium announced the launch trailers. .exe. Rated T for teen. Capcom Arcade 2nd Stadium, available 3 years ago. That's a thing. Oh, you thought I was gonna be saying something? Nah, man, that beat, that beat was going too dumb. So we got one more. Sit back and relax. We'll watch some more of this. Also, rated T for 10. This is important. We'll talk about this later. And that shall be that. Yeah, I didn't want to do a lot of talking because y'all gonna hear me do a whole bunch of talking. I did that to give y'all a break from me. Look, let's get King Leo back in the building because we need to literally get to talking about these 32 video games. Yeah, it has a rewind feature. You saw that in the trailers, filters and all of that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? All the things that you expect from a modern console collaboration. That's not the word we're looking for. The word is compilation, boys. Stop it. Anyway, we gonna view the lineup in a moment. Don't worry about it. Like I said, display settings. You've seen this. You can sit up here. You can just hit the rewind button. That's the thing. You can adjust gameplay and skills. We should quickly talk about this because see, here's the thing. In Capcom Arcade Stadium 1, this costs money. In Capcom Arcade Stadium 2, it does not cost money. So if you need to use it, but it's there and it's free, so why not download it? It is what it is. Save and load features, because you know you gotta have that in the year of our Lord, whatever year this is, because I don't want to date this video long. Leaderboards. You know you gotta love your leaderboards, and you can track everything you have done. That's great. What's up, Donovan Bain? We're gonna be talking about you in a minute, my boy. The main event. What I have been waiting for to talk about all 32 of these video games and what they mean to me, and hopefully you can gain some knowledge about these games because that's what we're here for. Let us start at the start. San, a Capcom classic. No, I will not be mentioning Marvel 2 because that's his granddaughter. The original San everywhere. There are many ways to play this game, but this right here is the OG. You are Son Goku. You hop up and down lines and things and shoot enemies and stay alive as long as you can. You can even team up with Tom. You know what I'm saying? Make it some two-player co-op action because it is what it is, but it's San. Nothing has changed about it. I do wonder like what a modern take on this would be, just like the everything that it is. But we will worry about that another day. Excise, better known as Savage Beast, sitting in front of you. I'm going to say a sentence, and then I'm going to follow up that sentence by telling you that I'm going to say the same sentence but in a different context, but it's the same context. I would like to take Capcom Classic Collection Volume 1 for introducing me to Savage Beast. It is some of the most fun I have ever had playing a video game that I have never played before. I can never get the first time playing Savage Bees back, and I wish I could. It is one of those games that I played it and it was just like, the fuck is this? But I play it all the time now when I get an opportunity, but I can never get that first time back. And I know you at home, you got a game you wish you could play for the first time. Savage Bees is one of many. It's a game that I wish I could go back to Capcom Classic Collection 1, be that triple, and get that experience again. But you can get this experience in this too. I'm like, it's a fun shmup. It does what it does. Has a nice little story to go with it, which I will not spoil here. But yeah, play you some Excise. Man, you're gonna have you a good time. Gansmoku. Well, I'm sorry. Gun.smoke, because I'm not pronouncing that. Capcom, you wrong for that. Now, again, this has been a thing in both of these collections of we can't license a thing technically, or we're not even going to try. I think they could have talked to somebody and got Gun.smoke and we would have been okay. But it's Gunsmoke. This a classic no matter what you play this on. You need to play this because it is very important in the echelon of Capcom about what this game laid down very early that other games get to follow. So yeah, go play some Gun.smoke. All right, go do that for your boy. The Speed Rumbler. Somebody at Capcom was like, we like Mad Max, but we can't have Mad Max. Here's Mad Max at home with Capcom. That is the Speed Rumbler. The actual story, some really, 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 really bad guys have kidnapped a whole bunch of people, and it is your job to take your magical, non-existent, existent supercar and drive it all the way up the enemy's ass, and then hope you can make it. The Speed Rumbler is no joke as a video game. This game gets really hard, really fast, especially if you are aiming for the 1cc in it. But there is a lot of fun to be had just sitting up here pushing the whip around, dumping at things, and saving your family member while they give you rocket launchers and points. So it is what it is with that. Go play you the Speed Rumbler. You'll thank me later. Hyperdyne Sidearms. It was in this collection that I learned that I have been reading the name of the video game backwards for ages. I always thought the name of the game was Sidearms Hyperdyne. That's what I always thought. I'm sorry. I apologize to me because I wasn't properly educated about how a video game is supposed to be pronounced. Let's talk about Hyperdyne Sidearms, though. See, there's a lineage of video games when it comes to Capcom, and Hyperdyne is right before we get really good in Forgotten Worlds. That is all you need to know. Also, what you can do, if you type in Hyperdyne Sidearms before Christ in something, you will find something really interesting. Once you find what that interesting is, your job is to play it. Play this first, because the before Christ thing that I am vaguely hinting at, quote unquote, will be something completely different, amazing, something you should experience at least once, but you need to experience Hyperdyne Sidearms for the before Christ thing to make sense. See what I'm saying? And even if you decide you don't want to experience the before Christ, you should listen to what before Christ gives you in its OST. So I'm giving you an out here. I just suggest you play it. Play this. Go search for Hyperdyne Sidearms before Christ. Play that. And if you don't want to play it, listen to it. I'm giving you an out. It is what it is. We're just going to I appreciate this game for what it does. Here's a secret. Play it with a friend. Because there's something, because there are a couple of games that Capcom did in like this lineage where you get a lot more of it when you play with a friend. Hyperdyne Sidearms is one of those. I wish you luck on that before Christ thing. This is Avengers. Yes, Capcom made a game called Avengers. That's not what's important here. Not even that the game is called Hisasu Boraiken. No, none of that's important. Would you like to know what is? This was produced by the GOAT Nishiyama. Yeah, the dude who invented the beat 'em up game. Yes, This is in the lineage of, Kung Fu Master and the Renegades and the like. You should play this. For nothing other than the lineage of Nishiyama. You play this for no other reason. There's plenty of enjoyment had, but you are here for the historical significance of who made it and why it exists. This game is called Avengers. Why Capcom? Why? But something Florence Pugh. Anyway, this is Black Tiger, and well, Black Tiger wears a lot of hats in the Capcom world because you have to understand. While this is an Okamoto joint, this is literally a spiritual successor to Ghosts and Goblins. Also, the first use of Zenny in a video game when it comes to Capcom. Now, that whole spiritual successor thing, you need to tuck that away because we're actually going to use that for real in a couple of games from now. Oh, and Red Armor Mirror makes a guest appearance in this game as the boss. So good luck finding him because he's going to find you and he's going to destroy your soul. But Black Tiger, one of my favorites, man. I love playing this at Capcom Classics Collection too. I appreciate this game, but again, we're going to be talking a lot more about Black Tiger and its effect on video games as we look at games that are in this collection, literally going forward. Well, not this. This is that game. Yes, that game. Don't forget there are many fighters like you all over the world. Yes, Street Fighter. We have to admit, as we continue to do, this game aged badly. Thank the Lord we have Mugans that tried to fix what was wrong here. But again, when a goat sits up here and does what he does, if you really want what this game was supposed to be, I'm supposed to adultly tell you to go play Fatal Fury 1. That's what I'm supposed to do. If you literally, I'm just telling you that, yes, we are talking about an SNK game here because Nishiyama worked on Fatal Fury 1. So yes, you see this, you'll play this, and you'll probably ask yourself, where do we go from here? The answer is Fatal Fury 1. It is weird and it's a shame that Fatal Fury 1 came out when it did because it got unfairly compared to the GOAT that is Street Fighter 2. It's not Fatal Fury's fault that it was made when it was made, released when it was released, and then for Street Fighter to sit up here and eat everyone's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sometimes snack. Not the game's fault. Street Fighter, for the historical significance, and that's my word for the day, we'll be using it a lot, deserves you to play it at least once, and then if you want more, go play Fatal Fury. Go play the many wonderful Mugen games that what this is, and something Capcom fighting jam, but nah. Yeah, I don't want to hear no more about that. Oh, this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is Tiger Road. Okay, remember a couple of video games ago when I sat up here and told you about spiritual successors? You may not believe a word of what I'm about to tell you. This is the true spiritual successor to Ghouls and Ghosts. You may not believe me, but it's true. Just like, look, just play it. You'll see. Me explaining it, it's not gonna help. Look, Lee Wong got to rescue some kids. That don't matter. You're here for a historical significance. This right here is literally without being in the lineage part of Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins, all that, because of what this game does in trying to expand that formula. And you will immediately understand it once you play it. Me explaining that it's part of that lineage to you is going over your head right now. I know. But when you play it with the mindset of understanding that what if Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts went extra ape shit? That's literally Tiger Road. And when you understand it from that perspective, you're going to help Lee Wong save some kids, and it's going to be okay. So you go play this, but remember, keep that lineage in your head when you do. You'll appreciate the game a lot more, not only for the game that they present, but the historical significance of the evolution of what that formula could be, even though those games never really leave that formula for real until a lot later. And even when they do, they stay close to it. I spent the whole video 4 years ago literally just trying to find out where the hell this game was. It was here the whole time. In the future of the past me, who understands that 1943 Kai is a better game than 1943. That's why Kai is Japanese for revision, or some way that you consider prayer and understand what it is, but it's 1943 Kai. I can't really say much more than it is one of the best in the 19 series. You should play it, and you should always play it. Well, actually, I'm gonna undo that. This game can sit by side by right next to the original 1943 and be just fine. Kai being the revision is just a little bit better. That's why they call it a revision. Enjoy you some 1943 Kai, why don't you? Last Duel, United Planetary War 2012. Who knew 13 years ago we had a United Planetary War? Don't worry about it. You want to know what? I love Last Duel, but Last Duel and I have one problem. The sound effects are so damn loud, you can't enjoy the great ass soundtrack this game presents. The game's hook is you fly in a spaceship sometimes, but then you drive a car and do the same thing. And the ship sections are different than the car sections, but look, you just need to play Last Duel to understand what it is. But like I said, I love Last Duel of the game. My only problem is the sound effects are too loud and it drowns out a wonderful OST. That is my only issue with this game. Existence is just that. Play you some Last Duel. Please, I beg you. Rally 1123 Lead Storm. Okay. See, this would be the part where I would tell you this is a bump and jump with Capcom at home. But the problem is the version that would be that isn't this. This is the prototype to the final version that got released in arcade as Lead Storm and then was re-released again as a game called Mad Gear. And yes, it is a relation between the Mad Gear that the game is named after and the Mad Gear you know and love from that game that was in the other collection and currently in your lexicon now because of a game called Street Fighter 6. It's a racing game. That's really all you really need to glean from it. But because what this does is different than what Mad Gear ultimately does, and Mad Gear has never been in any compilation whatsoever, you're going to go have to hunt down Mad Gear and play it to understand the differences, but know that there are some. This game is cool for what it does, and it's weird that when I think about the history that Capcom never really talked about that this was a prototype version of the final version of the game and wondering why both games are in the collection with an explanation to why and how they do that. It makes no sense. But yeah, your homework assignment is go play you this, and then when you get done, go play Mad Gear. Compare the two and have some fun in your own brain doing that. Ah, yes, Magic Sword Heroic Fantasy. A couple of things you should know. Number one, you owe yourself, and I say this now, and again, 4 years ago, I was saying this differently, but I can say it how I can say it now. If you now want to experience the way that I think you should at least once, you need PlayStation Plus. Because yes, you can stream Final Fight Double Impact on you can stream Final Fight Double Impact on PlayStation Plus. You can do that. And you should do that to experience Magic Sword the way that I officially experienced Magic Sword. Because this is going to come up later that, yeah, I had a thing that allowed me to do things. And because I was able to do those things, I was able to experience things. Feel me? Things. Yeah. Also, here's some fun trivia for you. When you get the opportunity, look up the name of this game. Look up my name. And go in the search bar. Here's a secret of what you'll find. I did a collab joint with a dude who used to be best friend and then turned himself into a skeleton and asked you what happens every Saturday. Yeah, Uncle Triple's got internet history, and that's some of it. So you have some fun with that. Go stream Final Fight Double Impact. But then come back and play Magic Sword. It is an amazing, awesome game. Play it with a buddy if you can get an opportunity. But the destined one, he will get the job done. It is what it is. Go get that Black Orb. Midnight Wanderers, Chariot, and plus. Look, here's the thing. You may already own this game if you bought Capcom Fighting Collection 1, because it was one of the bonuses that came in the physical version, or if you would have bought the digital version within the first couple of weeks. I can't really say much about Three Wonders that ain't already been said. It is 3 games in one. You owe yourself enough to play Midnight Wanderers and Chariot. Plus will be what it's going to be, and you can enjoy whatever that is, but you're here for Midnight Wanderers. You're here for Chariot. Do those things, please. The King of Dragons. You crawled so Tower of Doom and Shadow of Mastar could run and be amazing games. Salute to you. Even given that, you owe yourself the opportunity to play King of Dragons, not only with yourself, but with some friends. It's fun that way. It's fun both ways. It's fun getting that single player experience. It's fun teaming up with 2 other people to sit up here to take it to become the one. You should do that. I'm like, it's fun. It is a fun video game. One of my Capcom favorites. Just get 2 friends. Just skip playing it by yourself. Just get 2 friends, sit down, play King of the Dragons. You will not regret it. Oh, what's up? This is Block. Would you like to play Arkanoid Capcom style? Well, now you can. That is all Block is. If we stay here any longer, it'll just be me stalling. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It is Arkanoid. That is it. It is Capcom's twist on Arkanoid, not the first or the last game we will ever see, and we talk about Capcom games where Capcom was like, yo, you did a thing, we're going to do a thing too. And it is what it is with that. Can we talk for a minute? Like, can we talk? Because I just want to, introduce you to another episode of my favorite show within the show, things that live rent free in my head. This. Yeah, that was the character select screen for Knights of the Round. Both the CPS1 version and the Super Nintendo version of that thing live rent free in my head, and they always will forever. You can't stop me. Look, let's actually talk about the video game. You should play the video game with 2 friends. Arthur, Lancelot, and Percival need to run a fade, and your job is to help them run that fade. You will collect enough points, you will level up to run said fade. That is all you really need to know about Knights of the Round. This is one of Capcom's best, and no human being, dead or alive, will tell me this game ain't one of the ghosts, bro. You can't. This one of my favorites personally. All bias in your face. This is one of my favorites. Be one of yours. Get 2 friends with you. Run that fade. Do it. Do it now. Do it often. Also know you can hit things and they split apart. That's probably all you need to know about Knights of the Round. And also, again, just repeating it for you, that character select theme lives free in my head. Oh, it's Muscle Bomber. Yeah, give me a second. I just need a drink of water. This was unplanned. This was unscripted. I'm just thirsty. Okay. We are 3 years out from this. Multiple collections since. There is no Muscle Bomber Duo still. I still can't play Ring of Destruction. Why? That has nothing to do with this, but everything to do with this, but why? Why can I not play Muscle Bomber Duo? I would have thought that would have been a Capcom fighting collection. I would have thought. But there are also games in here that I thought would have been about Capcom fighting something, and they still not, but that still gives them room for an arcade third stadium or something. Look. Saturday Night Slam Masters, as it is, is one of the goats. All right. Again, given what this does, equally given what Muscle Bomber Duo does, both of them together make up one hell of a game. Ring of Destruction is something completely separate, and you should treat them in your head as as two separate things. Saturday Night Slam Masters, Muscle Bomber, and Muscle Bomber Duo go together. Ring of Destruction does not. It is a separate thing. It should be treated as the fighting game it presents itself and not the wrestling game that Saturday Night Slam Masters presents itself to you as. Again, as I said, it's one of the ghosts. I'm finally glad that Capcom remembered this game existed, because they had years up until this point to remember this existed on something and was just like, nah, we don't feel like it. I'm glad this is here for you to play. However, given that we are in a future time 3 years later, and I still don't have a true way to experience it in a way that I appreciate, I'm hoping something gets announced where we can appreciate that game. And I'm glad that, again, shout out to Street Fighter 6, where these games equally get to live so that you can experience them and play them inside of those arcade cabinets, which I think is pretty dope. Do you remember that sentence I told you like maybe 15 minutes ago or so, when I said that there would be a sentence that I would repeat again that would be in the same context, in a different context? This is Ultimate Ecology, better known as Echo Fighters. Thank you, Capcom Classic Collection 2, for introducing me to this wonderful shmup. Echo Fighters is a special shmup. It does its own thing. I don't want to spoil it for you. You just need to play Echo Fighters. And I am better for having Capcom Classic Collection Volume 2 to introduce me to this game, because I was ignorant about it, didn't know it existed, and glad that compilations like that allow people to discover things. Again, just like Savage Bees, I wish I could get my first time interacting with Echo Fighters back. I wish I could. But you need to play Echo Fighters and get you a first time experience with it. You won't regret it. Trust me. Okay, we need to talk about Nicky's. We do. And here's the short version of Nicky's. If you look at the credits of this game, you'll wonder why Sega's being credited. Nicky's is why, because all this is Puyo Puyo in a different skin. Now, here is the issue, and it is an issue. This game is fully in Japanese, but inside the ROM, there's a whole 2 English versions in it. Why Capcom chose not to use these English versions? Because the only English part about them is, I don't know, the most important thing about explaining to people how the hell Puyo Puyo works in this skin of it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Why? It's like literally, if you load this into MAME and put on the cheats of switching the region, there is literally a test version for the USA game, and then another version that you can't play in no other country other than a country we don't list. But all the how you play the game shit is in English. So why? Oh, and RIP compile. That's a thing too. Damn you, Sega. Anyway. You really want to talk about how me and Felicia found each other? You really want to have this conversation? We can. There's literally a whole video on this channel about me explaining to you why I love this video game. I could sit here for 20 minutes and tell you why I love this video game, but let's stick to the facts here. Between this and X-Men Children of the Atom, and when we get to the Marvel Capcom Fighting Collection, and I will say this again, and I will own it, and will always continue to own it. Darkstalkers and X-Men clawed their way out of the darkness and showed you mutants exist, so that fighting games could be better. That's the whole story. Darkstalkers does not get enough credit for what it started, and then would, in 2 games, in my honest view, literally birthed one of the few perfect fighting games in what it offers, no matter how fucked up it is inside of it. Darkstalkers, the Night Warriors. Oh, Night Warriors, Darkstalker's Revenge. Yes, I love this character select string. Yes, Donovan Bane is my spirit animal. Do we need to talk about this? Probably. Look, this game sits up here and takes what Darkstalkers has as a base and expands it by adding both Donovan and Cienko. This game is better Darkstalkers, and Capcom was very good at this time of we make a game and we iterate and we make it bigger, better, better. That is all Night Warriors is, and that's all it has to be. Night Warriors has a real issue because it has to sit next to a GOAT. It has no choice but to sit next to its sequel and be the prequel to the GOAT. It has that issue, but it don't matter though. Night Warriors Darkstalkers Revenge can stand alone as a great fighting game, as an expansion to the original Darkstalkers. Treat it, respect it as such, but it knows, I know, you now know, it sits next to the GOAT. It is what it is. Street Fighter Zero, Warrior's Dreams. Look, we could talk about Street Fighter Alpha, the rise of Danabiki. You want to do this? We can, but there's no reason to. We're going to get to a couple games from now. This game is done better. Again, another one of those. We introduce a thing, and we do better later. Street Fighter Alpha, if anything else, all you need to do is play Dramatic Battle one time, and you have gotten everything you ever need to get out of Street Fighter Alpha. And I'm saying that jokingly, that yeah, you and a friend should put that code in and play Dramatic Battle. I'm going to tell you something. I remember the first time I ever saw Street Fighter Alpha in arcade. The two things I saw that day was, oh shit, guy from Final Fights in this motherfucker, and somebody did the code for Dramatic Battle. And then in 95, when I was at that arcade and I didn't understand anything other than, that's the dude from Final Fight, and why are Ken and Ryu on the same side against the opponent we're not going to tell you about because I don't want to spoil it for the one person who probably doesn't know how that mode works. My mind was blown. It took a couple of years for me to play Street Fighter Alpha for real on the Sega Saturn. Shout out to my cousin Wu. That I was able to play Street Fighter Alpha and able to experience those things. But being 11 in an arcade, seeing that for the first time blew my fucking mind. This game is still great for what it is, but like I say, we do better later. Mega Man, the power battle. Okay. So, we gotta talk. We still, this is another one of those, it's 3 years later. Okay? 3 years later. And these two games are still in this compilation, because yeah, we're going to talk about the Power Fighters. Stuck in this compilation, nowhere else. I still find it weird in the year of our Lord 2025 that this wasn't part of Legacy Collection 2. It makes no sense. It equally makes no sense that both the Power Battle and the Power Fighters are their CPS 1 counterparts for some reason. That equally makes no sense to me. I don't get it when Rockman Power Battle Fighters knew better, and I would tell you to go buy a $100 PlayStation 2 game. But you know what I'm going to tell you? Get a Japanese PSN account and you can go buy that game for $10. See? I'm helping you. But seriously, no bullshit. No bullshit. The Power Battle being what it is, laying down what it laid down so that the Power Fighters could be better, because we're going to get over there a couple games now and I'm just going to gush the hell out about it. Is that, again, like I say, it's weird that this game doesn't get enough features and compilations, that they're using the CPS 1 version of the game. But again, history is all the other versions use the CPS 1 version of the game and not the CPS 2 version. But that's me nitpicking at it, and I'm allowed to do that. You should play this game with a friend. This is another one of those that, yeah, this is literally Zombie Fight Boss Rematches, the remix in arcade form. But no, actually, we're going to say that for the Power Fighters, actually, because when I think about it, this was not what I saw at that pizza place that day, along with a game we already mentioned with X-Men Children of the Atom. But I did see this once at a Chuck E. Cheese though. It was another pizza place we went to where I saw the Power Fighter. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I saw this I saw this on a track loop at a Chuck E. Cheese when I went to some kid's birthday party. So it is what it is. Don't worry about it. Oh, sup, it's better. Street Fighter Alpha 2. Now, here's the thing. There's only Street Fighter Alpha 2. There is no Dash. There is no Cammy. There is no stuff. It's just vanilla Alpha 2. So there is no gold. Again, like I said, no gold, no Dash, no Cammy, no nothing like that, which I find equally weird. But we're not going to get into that. If you're going to play an alpha game, it's this one. Not sitting up here. We're talking about between Street Fighter Alpha 1 and Street Fighter Alpha 2. Again, as I said, Street Fighter Alpha deserves your play. This is the game you actually play. Because this is the game that is competed in tournaments. Like, no one likes alpha counter costing 1.5 bars because we needed to balance it. Street Fighter Alpha 2, for all that I love it for and all that it's worth, is fucking busted. In the best way. In the best way. It is busted in the best way a game can be, and it's busted for your enjoyment. Watch some high-level play of Alpha 2. Vanilla Alpha 2. You should do that. You should do that often, and you should do that all the time. Tell them Uncle Triple sent you. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Yes, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. This one of the goats. This one of the goats. I'm just like, you never really expected Capcom to be like, yo, we're going to make a puzzle game. We're going to chibi-fy the sprites, and it's going to become an all-time puzzle classic. I don't think they set out to do that. Something Pocket Fighter. We'll do that later. Again, you can stream this on PS3, the HD remix version. You can stream that. Actually, you know what? Because I didn't think I was going to mention that. I do not know. I'm assuming you can still purchase this on PS3, but I don't know. Because I think it's backwards compatible on 360. I'm finna look. I'm gonna look. Let me see. Puzzle Fighter HD Remix Xbox. I spelled it horribly wrong. Oh yeah, you can still buy Puzzle Fighter. Yeah, you can still buy Puzzle Fighter. Do that if you want. It goes on sale semi-often. It's not really on sale now with everything Capcom being on sale, which is one of the reasons we're making this video. Water. But I'm glad this is here. This is also in another collection we'll be talking about later this week, and I'm glad it survives over there with the online play you need to play with people. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Yes, I play as Felicia in this game. Why would you ask me a question like that? To quote a great man, the difference between you and me is you just suck. That's an actual quote from this game from Ken. I didn't say that. I mean it, but I didn't say that, but I'm saying it now. Mega Man 2, The Power Fighters. Okay, did you want more Mega Man in your arcade? Then this is it. If you were playing Mega Man in release order and wanted to fit this in here about before or after Mega Man 8, Power Fighters came out first. Mega Man 8 came out afterwards. But you play Mega Man 8 first, and then you play the Power Fighters with Duo. That is how that works. That's it. This is another episode of bigger, badder, better. Characters have super moves now. You just charge the button and then hit an attack button and things like that. I wonder what a Power Fighters 3 would be with 9, 10 Mega Man and base bosses, 11. Like, I wonder what that would be. Like, I literally had that thought last night. But I bet you there's a Mugen of what I'm thinking of somewhere. Shout out to Mega Man Robot Master Mayhem. You know what I'm saying? Since I'm shouting out Mugen games or whatever right now. But yeah, I'm like, this game is bigger, badder, better. I'm just like, again, another game you should play with a friend. You know what I'm saying? There is a lot here. Also, that I didn't mention this part on purpose. One of the things that got released from the bulk is the Neo Geo Pocket color versions of these. You can get these on. You can get them on the Switch or on Steam. You should play those. Equally, I'm telling you this. Someone translated those games, so you're on your own finding those though. But legal means, yeah, you can get it on Switch. You can get it on PC. Enjoy. The motherfucking GOAT. The motherfucking GOAT. Do you know? There's nothing else to say. There are very few perfect video games, much less perfect fighting games. Perfect fighting game. People in the streets want more of this, and I understand why you want more. Vampire Savior is an accident. One of the best happy accidents in the existence of the human race. You, no matter who does it, no matter how hard you try, you can never be this. So while people out here in the streets making a dream rosters, sitting up here in October pretending they give a fuck this game exists, you cannot recreate perfection. Again, there is plenty wrong with this game when you examine it under a scope. As far as I'm concerned, this is probably one of the best fighting games to ever exist. One of the few perfect ones we have. Again, I say that and I mean every last word. And when we take a look at Capcom Fighting Collection 1, I'm going to say it again. This game is the fucking GOAT. I don't give a goddamn what you tell me. If you want to go outside and fight about it, yo, I got the dukes up. This the GOAT, bruh. Fuck out of here. You have a whole shit genre of video games that thanks for this game taking what Darkstalkers did, what Night Warriors did, what it did to make it better for us to get to perfection. The twos to this game don't count because those are different things. This is the perfect one. I own that all day long, twice on Sunday. Come fight me about it if you wanna. Darkstalkers 3, Jetta's Damnation. Oh, and shout out to Lilith and shout out to Fetus of God. That's just what I'm supposed to do legally. Jetta, I see you, my nigga. QB, what's up? Okay, let's talk, y'all. You've gotten to this point in the video, and well, let's have some real talk. Everybody who loves video games has a secret favorite video game that they don't get a chance to talk about a lot because you have nowhere to fit it in a conversation and tell people you really love a thing. You want to know what one of my secret favorite video games of all time is? You're fucking staring at it. Capcom Sports Club, and you probably like, this? Yo, yeah, this. Because, see, this game holds a special place in my heart because of where I was at the time when I discovered this game existence. Me, I had what the internet likes to call a dank box. You know what I'm saying? The super modded out Xbox when computers still was doing what computers do, but Xbox was where it was. And that was the point when I was FTPing shit to it and doing all that stuff. And I just happened to discover this. And I fell in love. I'm like, I suck at Smash Stars. Alright, I can't play tennis in this shit to save my fucking life. But I still love this game. Treasure it dearly. I will stomp you in Dunk Stars. I will. I will. Kickstars, you can come get this work, baby. You know, you don't want the smoke, but in tennis, you're gonna get me. Even if I pick Melody. Even if I pick Melody, you probably gonna get at me because I just can't get good at tennis. I'm just as bad as this game's kind of sort of sequel in Neto Day Tennis, which is the tennis game ripped out of it on Dreamcast with added bonus shit. Oh, and fun fact for this, Chun-Li is in this game actually as part of Smash Stars. So, you know what I'm saying? You can have some fun, but I just wanted to take a moment and tell you about one of my secret favorite video games of all time, and it's Capcom Sports Club. So I'm glad that because this was the first time, well, this is the second time this was featured in a compilation because it was on that Capcom arcade stick that came out in 2019, which I think finally freed it from whatever jail cell Capcom held it in because they never re-released it on anything, did anything on that or whatever. But it is what it is. I'm glad you guys get to experience this. And I sit up here randomly and just randomly put it on, pick the gold teams, and see if I can sit up here and 1cc it. I picked Melody, in Smash Stars, and it ends quickly. Sometimes I get God in basketball. Sometimes I get stunk at Dunk Stars sometimes. And Kick Stars is just fucking crazy. But here's a fun fact though. Depending on the version of the ROM you're playing, it switches the orders in the order select on what order they show up on the screen. But in order to beat the game, you have to beat all three. You have to win all three tournaments, and the better ending you get is about how money you get. So go for the 1cc. Capcom Sports Club, Uncle Triple loves you. Super Gym Fighter Mini Mix. No. Pocket Fighter. Better. I always wanted a sequel to this game. I really felt that Capcom was on to something with this, but they never iterated on it. The one thing that we have this game to thank, Tessa. When this game came out and I got this on the PlayStation, I didn't know what the fuck a Red Earth was. It is a shame Mei Ling is just stuck, but we'll talk about that when we talk about Capcom Fighting Collection 2. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about Mei Ling and how she's stuck. We'll talk about that. But this is a classic right here. I enjoy the hell out of this game. You should literally play this on the console because it has a whole bunch of extra fun things, especially when we get the Japanese versions and running modes and pocket stations and shit. This is just a great game with a lot to offer, and this game really wears its heart on its sleeve, and you just gotta love it for it just owning its aesthetic and being what it is. Salute to you. This is Street Fighter 03. Street Fighter Alpha 3. Oh, you were looking for me to say a thing? In the year of our Lord 2025, Upper is in the building. You can go play that. Still, this is my fantasy about how I would want you to play the games. One day, maybe, somebody will translate the Saturn version of Alpha 3 and you would go play that. That's my dream. You would go do that. In the reality, you would go on eBay. You would buy a pocket station, right? You would go to ROM hacking and you would download the patch that allows you to use the pocket station in a US or PAL version of Alpha 3, and you would play World Tour mode, right? You would then follow that up by playing Double Upper on PSP, and you would play World Tour mode in that. That is the dream of Alpha 3. You can, if you want to, you can substitute the Dreamcast Psycho Ryu version for the PSP version, but I just suggest you just play Max on PSP. That is what I suggest you do. We got Double Upper out here in the streets. You can play that right now. Because if I would have done this video 3 years ago, I probably would have been asking, why isn't Upper in here? Why, you know what I'm saying, da-da-da-da-da. But yes, this is the arcade, perfect version of Alpha 3. I'm supposed to tell you a fun fact that they released this and the game we're literally talking about next and the fucking GOAT years ago on Taito Type X. So we could talk about that as a thing because they've been modernly ported at some point, which I think some of these ultimate ports might be based off of, especially when we talk about Capcom Fighting Collection 2. But yes, it's Alpha 3. Brave or grave. Tits or indeed dicks. Hyper Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Edition. See, I'm glad that this is in here. We still live in a world where, you know, we're waiting on that 45th anniversary to like get all of this right. And one of the things I'm going to be telling you this week is you probably want to get you a Japanese account for the Nintendo Switch and the PS4 so you can buy the International Edition of 30th Anniversary Collection. Spoiler alert for that episode of Deals and Offering Time. I'm taking another drink, excuse me. I think I'm legally equally supposed to tell you that you're probably better going to find hacks of this game in MAME that let you play as the bosses in in this game because it makes it a lot more fun to be able to experience everything this game has to offer. I would sit up here and then ask you, like, we can't get the Chaos Tower on something, Capcom. I'm just saying, like, y'all literally have the Darkstalkers version of this game stuck on a PSP, stuck on a Dreamcast. You ain't even got to add the Chaos Tower shit. Y'all literally, if y'all wanted to. And again, because I know how Capcom Fighting Collection 2 works, y'all literally could have added Vampire Chronicle in there if you wanted to and you didn't. So I'm hoping that it's in a future collection that we'll probably talk about on an episode of the collection. Maybe. But Hyper Street Fighter 2, for what it is, just getting back on track, is everything you need. But you should probably just play Super Turbo anyway. And even given that, there are hacks for Super Turbo that make it better. And then there are equally hacks of this game that do weird things with it, like make Akuma playable in Street Fighter 2. You should go find Street Fighter 2 Prime. You should go play You should go play 03 Mix. You should go play all those weird ass hacks that they've been coming out with. Shout out to Brazil in the building cooking can work up. But yeah, Hyper Street Fighter 2 for exactly what it is what it is, because the only thing I'm literally legally allowed to tell you is that all I really remember about playing this on a damn PlayStation was watching that weird bootleg version of Street Fighter 2 the animated movie, which you probably should not watch there because it's uncensored and the quality is bad. So it is what it is with that. And that, children, is that. That is all of our games here today. So I'm trying to think, because we got everything in front of us. I'm trying to think, was it anything that I didn't cover that I think is important before I get y'all out of here? I'm thinking, because I'm looking at all the games. I'm looking and see if there's anything else. The details about this stuff, we literally been sitting there. I don't even know how long we've been here. But look, I'm looking at the games one more time. The GOATs and Nickies. You know what? Nickies. I want to say something about Nickies real quick. That is a game they could have used the PS1 port to like expand whatever it is, because there's a story there about gods and goddesses and them arguing, but you know, Compile and Sega probably why it didn't get anything or whatever. I'm looking. We talked about Tiger Road. We talked about Tiger Road. We talked about Black Tiger. We talked about Avengers. We talked about all of that. Again, Before Christ and Side on Hyperdyne. You know what I'm saying? Again, I pronounce it the way I pronounce it. It's Hyper on Side.C. We're supposed to remember. Mad Max and, you know, the Speed Rumbler, Gansmoku, why? You know, Triple Love Savage Beast. I want to get that back. I'm gonna take a note. Note to self. Play Mad Gear, cause you know what? Since I'm gonna move my headphones. Since Capcom don't want to do it, I'm gonna do it my damn self. I'm gonna play some Mad Gear on the channel at some point once I fully get my setup together. That we gonna play some Mad Gear, because I want to see the differences for myself. Because I've seen comparison videos and stuff. Because I did my research for this a little bit, and I saw comparisons. But I want to see it live for myself. And also shout out to the cutting room floor. They got a lot of information about the difference between Rally 11, 2011 Last Storm, and what Mad Gear ultimately became. So if you're curious, you should definitely go take a look at that. I'm still looking, like, you know, shout out to Three Wonders doing what Three Wonders do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talked about Echo Fighters. Where the hell is Muscle Bomber Duo, for God's sakes? And Mega Man the Power Battle being the CPS1 version, not the CPS2 version, because Capcom's being lazy. We talked about Felicia and my sexual awakening to cat girls. Donovan Bane is my spirit animal. Street Fighter Alpha. For the hood, for Britain Triple, no, for me. Okay, we good? Yeah, I think we're good now. I think we are super duper totally good. I think we're super duper totally good. So let's go ahead and let's bring it back to me. We've been at this an hour. God damn. See, you give me a live mic, I will do disgusting, nasty things with it. Like educate you about 32 video games. Yo, We're going to have a lot of these while Capcom is doing these sales. So, yeah. I'm going to have another one of these for Capcom Fighting Collection, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, and the Marvel vs. Capcom Collection. All of those. We need to talk about that because mainly I like to take a moment to talk about Marvel vs. Capcom Origins and how you can't play it anymore and have been able to play it for a fucking decade now. So that's not important, but it's something worth mentioning and glad that it got released out of jail. This right here, because I'm going to get y'all out of here, but I'm going to say this. Waiting 3 years to make this video and being able to have the opportunity to make this video makes what I do worth it. If not a soul, if not another soul ever watches it. Not if another soul ever makes it to this point in the video. See, allow me to be real, because I'm going to get y'all out of here. I know y'all noticing. Like my normal folks, like I'm putting out work like it. If you think about it for like 2 seconds, it's not that hard to figure out why I'm putting out work at this clip. It don't matter, but I am blessed by Jehovah God for the opportunity to put out work at this major level, because it tells me I could have done this at any time I wanted. And I have my moments, but I'm in here in the moment right now, and I'm going to let it rock. I'm going to let it roll, and we just going to do what it is we need to do. So I appreciate the opportunity, blessed for having the opportunity to be able to put out work at this clip and make the things that I want to make and do the things that I want to do. So yeah, deals and offering time, a lot of Capcom stuff going to be in your face all week long. Just keep tuned to the deals. I'm going to keep cooking the work up, and you keep supporting the work by absorbing the work. How about that? But with all of that being said, and we're asking you to sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Pop it. You know who it is that I'm of course the one owning triple the G.O.D. And you awesome you, live right here with us, right here on Team GRF TV. And we have got plenty of more show for all of you right after these commercial messages. Feel good, baby. Beast unleashed, baby. I'm in the zone, baby. And can't nobody take me out my square. Just know, you are not the one. No one who bleeds like me will ever be the one to take me out of my square. And know that. It's over when Jehovah say it over and not a second before. We have got plenty more show for all of you wonderful, amazing people. Come back and come deal with your fam right after these commercial messages.